Hi guys, I'm Taylor.
I'm Jared.
And welcome back to our channel.
So a few weeks ago, Taylor and I got to go on an epic trip. We got to visit 3 different states, 6 different national parks, and it's something we wanted to do for a while.
Yeah, and we just felt like a lot of the time that we had normally out of the COVID season, the trips would have been too rushed. We couldn't fully spend time in the national park where we wanted to and really enjoy it because we'd be too worried about getting somewhere else in our timeline. So during this COVID season, we both were virtual and we figured, why not go?
We were able to connect with one of our friends from college. She lives in Texas currently with her family. And so we flew from Orlando to Texas to meet her, and we hit the road from Texas all the way to the Grand Canyon.
We're gonna share with you each day by day, along with footage of where we were and some cool places to stop along the way. So if you wanna do this trip anytime soon, we'll give you some great places to go. So day 1 of our trip, we got on the road at like 4 a.m. and we headed to Marfa, Texas.
And in Marfa, Texas, we got to stay at this really cool place called El Cosmico. And there they had tents and teepees and different cool epic RVs. And we stayed in a tent there.
Yeah, and it was called a safari tent, so definitely recommend if you don't love camping, like in a typical tent with a sleeping bag in the dirt. I don't necessarily love that. So this was kind of my first camping experience, and I had an awesome time. It was really beautiful and clean, and we just loved the whole environment. After we arrived in Marfa, Texas, we got situated at El Cosmico. We went to this famous tiny little local restaurant in Marfa, Texas, which Marfa is like 2 blocks. It's really not big at all. And it was called Marfa Burrito, and it's been a place where a lot of celebrities have actually been and tried, but we were amazed by how good the burritos were, and it was super simple. Like, I think it was like, what did we have? Potatoes and
vegetables and cheese.
Yeah.
But it just tasted so good and authentic.
It was really amazing.
It was really cool. The woman who owned the place, she spoke only Spanish, so kind of experiencing a different culture within our own country was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was awesome, and definitely recommend going there if you are stopping by and glamping at El Cosmico.
So you may have heard of Prada Marfa before, which is a little pop-up Prada store in the middle of literally nowhere. It's a really cool photo stop and photo spot, so we ended up going there. It was about 20 minutes down the road.
Yeah, it was about 20 minutes outside of Marfa. It was actually in Valentine, Texas, but I was actually surprised. It really is in the middle of nowhere, but the views are like unbeatable.
What's cool about Prada Marfa is that they actually have real Prada shoes and real Prada bags in the store, but apparently the bags don't have bottoms and there's only right shoes in the store, so people aren't tempted to take them.
Yeah, so I wonder if they actually tell you that or if that is true.
I don't know. There's also cameras, so.
Yeah, so don't try and steal anything.
But something that was funny was it was in the middle of nowhere, so there was no internet connection until you made it to the Prada store, so they must have their own router or hotspot.
Yeah, but definitely if you're an Instagram person and want cute photos, check it out for sure. For dinner, a lot of things were closed still because of COVID, so we have limited options, but we are super glad that we stopped at this restaurant that just honestly had curb appeal. So it was called The Water Stop. It was probably one of the most amazing places we ate on the whole trip.
For sure.
I thought so.
So day 2, we woke up super early again to hit the road to Carlsbad National Park. On the way there, the drive was absolutely amazing. We passed through the Guadalupe Mountains, and let me tell you, those were the best views, honestly, I think the whole trip.
I had never seen anything like that before. We actually stopped in the road to take pictures because it was so beautiful. I just, again, I've never seen anything like them.
So in the caverns, it was about a 2 to 3 hour tour, so prepare for that, because
we definitely didn't. We thought it was like 45 minutes,
yeah,
and it definitely was much longer.
I think typically there might be an option for you to get into the elevators at a sooner point, but they had a lot of restrictions and regulations. But something that was really cool at the bottom of the caverns was this cafe and bathrooms, and you would never expect it to be in the center of the caverns. It kind of felt very Star Wars-esque to me.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Star Wars, but sure.
Overall, this cavern experience was unlike anything we've ever done.
So day 3, we went to White Sands National Park, also in New Mexico, and that was probably one of my favorites that we've done.
And it's almost like you're looking around and you feel like you're at the beach, but there's no water.
Yeah, so also, FYI, when you're driving into White Sands, not sure if this will happen to everyone, but it happened to us. We actually had to go through border control. The whole trip we were pretty close to the border of Mexico, so it makes sense why we had to go through it, but they asked for our citizenship, which
we had no idea what that meant.
I assumed it was our citizenship of the United States, but no one has ever said it like that. They normally say, let me see your driver's license. So I was very panicked. I was flinging my purse around trying to get my ID.
Trying to prove our identity and our citizenship.
Yes.
So day 4, we left New Mexico and headed our way to Arizona.
Our hotel that we stayed at was in Tucson, and it was about a 20-minute drive from Saguaro National Park. We went to Saguaro West. There's 2 parts of the park, so there's an east and a west. We went to the west for sunset, which the sunset was the most beautiful thing I have ever seen.
After we enjoyed the sunset, we went to get tacos, and we went to this really yummy place called Blanco Tequila and Tacos.
Yes, those were so
and
good.
Took them back to our hotel room, relaxed, and enjoyed those.
So the next day we got up early once again, and we headed to Saguaro National Park East, which is where the Welcome Center is. And every Welcome Center at a national park that we visited, we got a patch and a magnet just so that we could collect those and eventually hopefully have every national park in the United States. We continued our road trip on day 5 and headed to the Grand Canyon, where we stayed at Under Canvas, which was an amazing experience.
If you haven't heard of Under Canvas, I suggest you look it up because they took glamping to the next level.
Yeah, they actually have them all over the country at located in different national park areas. So our goal is to stay at every one now because it was just such an awesome experience.
So at Under Canvas, it was really awesome because everything you needed was there on site. Food, drinks, bathrooms, experiences, activities. Each night we got to do s'mores, which was really fun.
Super fun.
As the stars came out and we got to relax and enjoy each other.
Yeah, and they actually had live music, they have sunset yoga, super fun stuff to do, and that's very family oriented. After we got settled in at Under Canvas, we ate some s'mores, got some dinner, and relaxed for the rest of the night.
Day 6, we got up early again. As you can see, it's a trend on this trip. We wanted to do as much as we could, and we headed to Lake Powell, where we spent the day kayaking.
Yes, and that was so fun. Lake Powell is in 2 different states. It's in Utah and Arizona.
The water there was a teal, crystal clear blue, and it was really amazing, refreshing, and cold. The canyon we were kayaking around was called Ice Cream Canyon because at the top it was kind of a whitish color, almost looked like snow.
We rented the kayaks from Lake Powell, paddleboards and kayaks, and they put the rack and the kayaks on the car for us for $30 each. So it was a wonderful experience, and we would definitely go back again.
And keep in mind that after you kayak, you do have to lift the kayaks and put them back onto your car yourself.
So after we wrapped up at Lake Powell, we grabbed a quick dinner and we headed to Horseshoe Bend, which is only about 13 minutes from Lake Powell. When you arrive at Horseshoe Bend, it is a little walk to get down to where the actual view is, but the walk is so beautiful, and we definitely recommend going at sunset again.
And keep in mind that you should bring water because it is, in the summer at least,
the desert.
105 degrees when we got there. So.
Yes. So Lake Powell and Horseshoe Bend bring plenty of water and snacks.
After we enjoyed the sunset at Horseshoe Bend, we were like, okay, we're in Arizona. We've never actually had an Arizona sweet tea here, so let's enjoy and refresh with one of those.
Yeah, and it did take like 3 different gas stations to find them. So
ironically.
I think everyone might have had the same idea, but we ended up finding them and we got a cool picture for the Instagram. Day 7, we relaxed in the morning. As you can imagine, driving multiple hours a day to different spots, we were very exhausted. So we took half a day and relaxed at Under Canvas and enjoyed the views that they had there.
After our day of rest and rejuvenation, we decided to head to the Grand Canyon, which on the way there we saw elk literally everywhere.
And something really interesting about the Grand Canyon, we expected desert terrain, just you're gonna drive to a canyon and it's gonna be a drop off, which is true, but to get there, it is like
pine tree forest.
Yeah, super tall pine trees, just really beautiful.
The whole time on our trip, we expected the Grand Canyon to be the most overrated stop on our trip, but we were seriously mistaken.
The videos and pictures of the Grand Canyon definitely don't do it justice. The views felt like they went on for miles, and the sky also felt like it was massive. But we just took the opportunity to enjoy the sunset there and take pictures.
After the Grand Canyon, we went back to Under Canvas, enjoyed the night, just relaxed, had dinner, and enjoyed some live music, s'mores again, of course, and went to sleep.
Day 8. We got up and we headed back to Dallas, although we split up the trip by stopping in Amarillo, Texas, where we went to the Cadillac Ranch photo op.
Which was a little underwhelming after all the sights we had seen, but it was still pretty cool.
After we arrived back in Dallas, we took a few days to just relax before we headed back on our plane to Orlando. Because our flight was at 8 p.m. that night, we mustered up the strength and we drove to Waco, Texas, where we got to experience the Magnolia Silos. We got to experience their Magnolia table, which was super yummy, and a yummy cupcake from their bakery.
This trip was really an amazing experience, just being able to see the beauty of God's creation and just really connecting with nature and spiritually. It was just really a great way to really refocus and rejuvenate ourselves.
But it definitely had us catching a travel bug. So we are actually planning to go to another Under Canvas in November, which we're super excited about. So that will be a video we post as well. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like this content, go ahead and click the bell, which will let you know when we post our next video. And also subscribe to our channel.
Again, I'm Jared.
And I'm Taylor. And we are Forever Farnsworth.